up here, but let's take a look here in OdysseyWare at at the project. Okay, so if we go to um, the environmental science course, and I want to pull it up here. Okay, and we are on energy flow and ecosystems. So um, part one really talks about you being able to draw and describe a food chain that shows the flow of energy between imaginary organisms. And it says be sure to create at least 7 make-believe organisms. So, what am I looking for in this? Well, you don't certainly have to do imaginary organisms. You can do realistic organisms. And you can do your food chain in a whole bunch of different ways. I'm going to show you a website that actually you can create your own food chain. You can draw one and upload a JPEG image if you'd like and send it to me. You can email it to me. But let's talk first about what some type of food chain would look like, or food web. Okay, here is an example. Please don't give me the same example because I'm going to make sure that I'm checking for these. So be creative. Okay, but here is just an example of how energy flows in an ecosystem, and here are some real live living organisms. I really want you to use real live living organisms, not imaginary ones. I want you to be able to practically apply this in a real life situation. Okay, so you can do something like that. And here is actually a website that takes you to food chains and food webs, and I would strongly recommend, and I'll post this link in with the video for you to look at it. But what you can do is you can actually go to this site, okay, and you can actually create your own food chain and your own food web using um, this link. Okay, so if you want to do that and take a screenshot and send it to me, you can do that. Or if you're more comfortable, like I said, going back to and doing an image like that or drawing something by hand, you can do that as well. I'm really open to whatever. All I really want you to make sure is that you have at least 7 organisms, from producers all the way up to, you know, second and third level consumers. Okay. Part two, draw an energy pyramid for at least 3 of the organisms from the food web that you created in part one. Okay, and show how that energy varies for that. So if you want to find an energy pyramid, okay, you can create your own energy pyramid, like in the lesson. Okay. Again, you can draw it, or you can do a screen capture, or you can again go to that website and create your own energy pyramid. So here's an example of one that is automatically created using what they did in the food chain and food website. You can do that. You can screen capture it, and you can send that to me as well. And then finally, the last part is label the trophic level for each organism. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to make a trophic pyramid as well. All right, and here's an example of what I would be looking for with a trophic pyramid. Okay, again, you can hand draw it. You can, if you're really fancy with artistic screen software, you can do that as well. But what I'd be looking for are the movement of producers to consumers to secondary, tertiary, and finally top level or quaternary consumers, using the animals in your from your food chain translated to your energy pyramid. Okay, so what are the guidelines? What am I looking for? I'm looking for you to be able to correctly show connections between the organisms. Show me that you understand how food chains and food webs work. Explain to me if you know how trophic levels work, and you're doing this by demonstrating by what you're creating. Okay, correctly creating the trophic levels, correctly creating the energy pyramid, and correctly creating the food lab. And I obviously looking for neatness. Okay, I'm not looking for you to be a Picasso if you hand draw it, but so that I can at least decipher what your train of thought is with your organisms, making sure there's correct spelling and labeling, and then again, how you present it to me, whether you put a picture into PowerPoint, whether you put it into Word, whether you draw it and upload it as a JPEG. I'm really, really flexible, and that to me doesn't necessarily really much matter, okay? Just as long as you have met those three major guidelines in each of those parts, okay? And of course, you can certainly submit it here as well. So with that, that's pretty much what I'm looking for in the project. That'll serve as your means of assessment for the energy flow and ecosystems. And next week, we'll be back here talking a little bit more about our next project as we move through the course. If you have any other questions, certainly feel free to reach out to me in the virtual office this week or through email or even a phone call. And I look forward to seeing you next week when we do our next instructional video. Have a good week, everyone.